Okay, welcome everybody to today's webinar. Thank you all so much for joining us. So today's webinar is focused on how to optimize your clients' marketing strategies in times of crisis. So we know it's challenging times for everyone. We know agencies specifically, it's challenging working with your clients, and we want to make sure that you can provide the best service to your clients, that given their budgets, perhaps limitation on budgets, that you're able to help them use them in the most efficient way. So today's webinar will be presented by myself, Jessica. I'm Director of Marketing Intelligence at Similarweb, with a particular focus on our agency and consultancy business. So Similarweb sells to brands as well as agencies and consultancies. But my goal is really how we can grow our business, how we can build the right product and the right offering, and give you the right education and insights that you need. And I'm joined today by Rachel Ricks, our Senior Solution Implementation Manager. So thank you, Rachel, for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining.
So Rachel spends a lot of her time onboarding our customers and making sure that they really understand how to get the insights out of Similarweb that are relevant for them. So she's the best man for the job today. So looking forward to Rachel's demonstration. So today I'm going to give you some background on the scenario that we'll be using today. So obviously on Similarweb, you can analyze any website or industry in the world. We had to pick something to use as an example. So we'll talk you through that, and then we will be showing you how you can understand the impact of Corona on your client's industry, how you can find your clients, the relevant competitors that are actually managing to increase their market share at this time. There are some, and then the goal would be that these are the companies, these are the websites where you might want to replicate their strategies, and then how to identify growth opportunities for your client and analyze which are the most efficient channels to be investing in at this time. We will have 10 to 15 minutes at the end, which we'll leave for Q&A. So please do ask your questions. I'll show you how you can do that in a minute through the Q&A box, and we'll get to those at the end of the webinar. I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you all that at Similarweb, we've been working really hard. We built our own dedicated mini site that we launched a week or so ago, similarweb.com/coronavirus, a whole site dedicated to our insights that we've been producing around Corona. It's updated daily, so you're getting that daily view on new trends that are emerging. On that site, on that hub, you're also able to see like different reports and webinars that we've been doing on the topic, and sign up for future webinars as well. You can also sign up for our email digest, so you can actually get emails to your inbox with all the latest insights that we've been producing, so you can do that straight from the hub. And lastly, I recommend you follow us on social, follow Similarweb on the different social channels. We're adding our different insights there, so you can stay right up to date. So many of you on the call may be familiar with Similarweb, some of you less so. I just wanted to, at a high level, explain to you what we're able to do, which is we're able to provide insights on any website or app or industry in the world, and also down to a huge level of granularity. So what we found specifically at this time during the Corona period is things are changing daily, they're changing weekly, able to provide those daily updates in almost real time, so you can really keep an eye on the trends as they emerge. So this is the data that we're able to provide, and Rachel's going to show us lots of examples of that in our platform later. Just specifically for agencies, one of the key use cases that our agency customers use us for is, first of all, for helping win new business. So actually at the pitch phase, where you are don't have so much insight into your prospects, at that point you can be the expert in the room with Similarweb Insight. You can go in knowing more about them and their marketing strategy and activities than they know about themselves. So it's an amazing use case for the pitch process. Obviously, a second use case is actually with your existing clients, optimizing their strategies, helping them optimize the overall marketing mix and then specific channels within that. So today, what we're going to be focusing on is exactly that, how to optimize your client strategies, but we're focusing particularly around in this time of Corona. And obviously, Similarweb can be used for reporting. It's got a nice user interface for exporting graphs easily into presentations. And we also have Excel downloads and API and everything you need for reporting needs to your clients. So just to introduce today's scenario, we're going to be talking, we're going to be using as an example efforst.co.uk, which is a UK footwear retailer. They're actually mainly, they mainly have physical stores, but they also do have an online presence. And so this is just one example that we've chosen to talk through today. Obviously, you can use Similarweb for clients in any market and country in the world, any industry, but we decided to focus on the footwear retail industry in the UK for today's webinar. And what we're going to be, the question that we're going to be kind of answering is how you can help, if Office was your client, how you can help Office move more towards online by learning from the brands that are in the fashion footwear industry. So I'm going to hand over to Rachel now, and she's going to give us some more background.
Perfect. Thanks, Jess. And thank you everyone for joining us. So as Jess said, today's scenario is focused on office.co.uk. Office are going to be our client. And as Jess said, Office is a sport retailer. They do have an online presence, but they are primarily known for their physical stores on our high streets, and they therefore really heavily rely on sales through their physical stores. Now, due to the current situation and lockdown that's happening across Europe and across the globe, Office can no longer rely and receive sales through their physical stores. So because of that, they're having to make a huge effort to optimize their website and adapt to a more digital way of doing business. So this is how you can help your clients who are in a similar situation. You know, you can help them pivot their marketing strategies, be more creative by helping them work with different affiliates and by helping them optimize different keywords. So I'm now going to take over and we're going to finally jump onto the platform.
Just before you do, Rachel, I think we're going to run a quick poll, just ask a quick question before you dive in and answer that. So if Emmanuel, if you can pop up our first poll question, by what percentage do you think that traffic to the entire fashion and apparel industry in the UK has fallen year over year? So we're comparing February and March this year to February and March last year. Do you think that traffic to the fashion and apparel industry in the UK has fallen by 20 to 25%, 15 to 20%, or 10 to 15%? If you can all place your votes, and then Rachel afterwards will be revealing to us what is the correct answer. There's no prizes, I'm afraid, but just for your interest.
Just pride.
Okay, we can see that the majority of you thought that it was a significant drop of 20 to 25%, but actually quite a split of answers across all of them. So thank you for those of you that participated. We will now hand over to Rachel, who will reveal the answer.
So I hope everyone can see the Similarweb Pro homepage. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our first goal. Our first goal is understanding to what extent your client, office.co.uk's industry, the fashion and apparel industry, has been impacted by Corona. And then once we've given ourselves that context, we're going to specifically understand to what extent has Office themselves been impacted by coronavirus. So to achieve this first goal, we want to start in website category analysis, which can be found in the research module. Website category analysis is going to give us a bird's eye view of how any industry across any market is performing. This is where we're going to uncover whether the fashion and apparel industry has grown or declined year over year, as well as identify the main and emerging players. So before we find out the results of the poll, I just want to make sure that we've got the right filters applied. So if we click on the worldwide drop-down, I'm just going to select the UK filter, which means we're just looking at traffic that's coming from desktop and mobile devices combined in the UK. I can also go ahead and now select the fashion and apparel industry. So I'm just going to click on this all categories drop-down, and you'll now see that we have that category. And now, in order to understand whether this industry has grown or declined and by how much, we need to click on this time filter. So when we click on the time filter, I'm now going to select February and March, and you'll now see that we have this compare to box. If I click on the compare to box, I'm comparing February and March 2020 with February and March 2019. And now if I hit apply, you'll see that the total visits widget updates. So now we see that, I know that a lot of you in the poll voted 20 to 25%, but the fashion and apparel industry has actually declined by about 18%. So that gives ourselves a bit of context as to how coronavirus might have sort of impacted our clients' industry. But now we want to understand, has Office themselves been impacted by coronavirus? So to do that, I want to get a view of all the websites in this industry. So to do that, I can go to top websites, and I'm going to see the top 10,000 domains in this industry ranked in order of their traffic share. So top websites as well, just for information, it just gives you the most recent month's worth of data. So it's giving you the previous month, so that's March 2020, which means it's a very current snapshot of what's happening in your client's industry, which is obviously what we want to, which was, you know, the information we need to assess the damage that coronavirus might have caused. What we also have is this really helpful change column, which tells us whether each website has increased or declined in traffic from the previous month. So we know that this industry as a whole has declined by about 18%, but now we can see whether each specific website has declined. And you'll see that a lot of the websites in this industry have indeed declined. And if we scroll down, we will be able to find our clients. Office.co.uk is in 29th place, and they have declined in traffic by 16%. I also noticed that a lot of their competitors, some other sports retailers, have also declined, such as Foot Asylum, which has declined by about 42%, Foot Locker, which has declined by 12%, and Sh, which has declined by 31%. So a lot of these websites are declining, but I also noticed something quite interesting, which is that some brands, so not sports retailers, but actual brands, have managed to go against the industry standard, which is decline, and have actually been able to increase their market share from the previous month. So for example, I can just identify Adidas has increased their market share by 15%, and Nike has increased their market share by 1%. So I'm starting to sort of piece together a bit of context into how this industry is performing, and perhaps how consumer patterns and consumer trends of browsing products and purchasing products might be changing. I'm noticing that sport retailers are declining, but brands are increasing in traffic. Now, what I want to do to sort of confirm this hypothesis is I want to filter this list and just look at the websites that are most relevant to helping me come to some sort of conclusion. So to do that, I actually want to create a custom category. So I can click on this button that says new category, and this will allow me to add up to 100 websites and really create my own little universe, my own little ecosystem of analysis. So all you need to do is either just type in manually a website, or you can copy and paste a list of websites. It's very, very easy to do. I created a custom category in preparation, which I called shoes. Very creative name. And I put in, obviously I put in my client, office.co.uk, always remember to do that. And I also put in a few sports retailers, so direct competitors to Office. So that's Foot Locker, that's Foot Asylum, that's Sure, and that's Size. And then I also added in some brands, just to see if my hypothesis is actually correct. So I put in Reebok, Adidas, Puma, and Nike. So now I'm going to click Save, and I'm now going to analyze my custom category, and I'm going to identify which websites have grown and which websites have declined. So really interesting, we see that Foot Locker, Sure, Office, Foot Asylum, and Size have all declined in traffic. These are all the sports retailers. But Reebok, Puma, Converse, Nike, and Adidas have all increased in traffic. So this could reveal a change to the way that consumers are buying shoes. Perhaps now that physical stores are closed and therefore aren't accessible, people are shopping online in a different way. Rather than going onto the retailer's website, they are going straight onto the brand's website. Is this because office.co.uk doesn't have such a strong online brand or such a strong online presence? Perhaps. But this is definitely something that we can help our clients improve by learning from these brands. So what I've been able to do in category analysis is I've been able to pinpoint who the leaders are and who I want to compare my client against in order to uncover the secrets behind their success. So I've been able to identify that I shouldn't actually compare myself against the other sports retailers, but I should actually learn from the brands themselves in order to improve my brand awareness and my visibility digitally. So now that we've identified that, we're going to move on to the second goal, which is all about understanding exactly how these websites, these brands have been able to increase their market share, and if there's anything that office.co.uk can learn. So to do that, I actually want to create an arena. So the arena can be found in the workspace. So I'm just going to go into the marketing workspace. And just to sort of introduce what the arena is, it's a personalized working environment where you can benchmark yourself or your client against up to 4 of their competitors across a range of KPIs. And this is how you can easily spot changes to your client's performance and also spot opportunities. Just to explain how I made this arena, it's really easy. You'll see that if you've made an arena before, you'll know that you have this plus icon, which you can click onto in order to set up another arena. You can make as many, you can make more than one arena. Or if you've never created an arena before, you'll see that you come to this page initially, and it will ask you to put in your main website. So you put in your client's website. You'll then choose your country filter. You'll then select next. It'll take you to the next part of the process, which is adding in those 4 competitors. So I'm just going to go back to the arena that I already made. So just to point your attention, we are comparing office.co.uk against Adidas, Nike, Puma, and Reebok. So these are the 4 brands that we noticed had increased their market share. And I'm first going to point your attention to this visits over time metric. This metric is going to give you a great visual representation as to how these websites have been able to evolve their market share. We know that Adidas, Nike, Puma, and Reebok have increased. We know that Office have declined, but this visual representation is going to allow us to spot on a daily basis where the peaks and where the dips are. And this is going to be really important for assessing how COVID-19 has impacted your client's business. So to get that visual representation, my recommendations are to click on this percentage button. So we get the percentage, we get the market share. I also recommend clicking on unbounced visits. This is going to show us just the traffic that's staying, engaging, and retaining on these websites. This is going to be really important considering that we're looking at transactional websites. I also recommend clicking on the daily granularity, which means, as I mentioned, we can look at how these websites have been able to evolve on a daily basis. So we know, for example, that on March the 18th, Office had a market share of 12%, and we know that on Tuesday, the April 14th, a couple of days ago, this declined to 1%. And we also know that the other brands were able to increase their market share. So just always make sure that if you do want to get that daily view, you apply the last 28 days, and it's going to give you March and April data, the most recent data on a daily basis. So now, moving on to the next step, which was, as I mentioned, understanding how these websites have been able to grow their market share and why Office is underperforming, we want to scroll down until we get to the marketing channels overview. So this is something that Similarweb is best known for, which is that we give you a holistic view as to how these websites have been able to acquire their traffic. So we can see that these are the channels that are driving traffic to these 4 websites, and we want to uncover what are the best performing channels and where the opportunity is for Office. So which channel is Office underperforming in? Therefore, what is the growth opportunity for them? In order to sort of answer those questions, just some advice, again, just select the percentage view so you get the traffic distribution across these channels, and also just select the unbounced visits. So again, we're just looking at the traffic that's coming through these channels that's again staying and retaining on these websites. So now what do we see? First, I want to draw your attention to the referrals channel. We can see the office only get about 1% of their traffic from referrals. So this is clearly a channel that they haven't allocated that many resources to. It's not a channel that's being utilized that much. Whereas we can see that Adidas get 13% and Reebok get 31% of their traffic from referrals. So this could be an amazing growth opportunity for office.co.uk. It seemed, it could be an untapped resource, and this could be a very sort of creative way to slightly shift their marketing strategies, slightly, reallocate their marketing sort of priorities and optimize this channel a bit more to overall increase their market share. We also see that organic search is a key channel for our clients. They get nearly 50% of their traffic from organic search. They get more of their traffic from organic search than the other brands. However, if we click on the hash button, we can see that despite Office getting nearly 50% of their traffic from organic search, they are underperforming when it comes to volume. So this channel, it's still a growth opportunity for them. We know it's important to their strategy, but we just need to help our clients improve it and drive even more traffic through it so that they can ultimately increase their market share. So now we come to a situation where we are presenting two possible recommendations to our clients. We're telling them to continue to optimize organic search. They might need to optimize a different set of keywords to really grow their traffic. And we're also telling them to maybe think about optimizing referrals. But before we give these recommendations, we need to make sure and we need to validate that these are the right recommendations to be giving to our clients before our client maybe pivots their strategy. So we need to, in essence, answer the question, is referrals a worthwhile investment? So in order to answer that question, we want to validate these channels in a feature called funnel analysis. Funnel analysis is our conversion module. You'll notice that up until this point, we've been analyzing these websites in terms of traffic and engagement. But when we go into funnel analysis, which is a premium feature, we can actually uncover what a website's conversion rate is. And we can go beyond that and we can uncover which marketing channel has the best conversion rate. So now let's go into funnel analysis. And I'm going to analyze Nike and Adidas. So now you'll see that I come to this business performance landscape, which is going to tell us which website is performing the best in terms of efficiency. So what I recommend, but this is always what I like to do, is I actually like to turn converted visits to total visits. And this is because now I get a really interesting ratio, which is I can see who's performing really well in terms of volume. So volume is represented by the total visits axis. And I can see who is performing well in terms of efficiency. Efficiency is represented by the conversion rate axis at the bottom. Now, in an ideal situation, a website would be in this top right corner. They would be performing really well in terms of efficiency and really well in terms of total visits. We see that neither Nike and Adidas tick both boxes, but we do see that Adidas is performing the best in terms of efficiency. They have the highest conversion rates. And Nike are performing the best in terms of volume. They have the highest volume. So both of these websites, both of these brands are definitely the good players to be uncovering the secrets behind their success. But now, as I mentioned, we want to go beyond this. We want to validate which channels are worthwhile, which channels are the most efficient. And to do that, we can actually click on Adidas.
Right, but before you do, Rachel, I'm going to stop you there. We're going to do a quick poll and we're going to launch it now. And what we want to hear from you, again, just for fun, is which channel has the highest conversion rate for Adidas? Do you think it is organic search? Do you think it's referrals? Or do you think it's direct traffic? So which do you think has the highest conversion rate? Not necessarily the highest volume, but highest conversion rate. So we'll give you a few more seconds to vote. And then Rachel will continue and reveal the answer. And once we close the vote, we will share with you what you all thought. Okay, so the majority of you, just about the majority of you, thought direct would have the highest conversion rate, but close tie to organic search. And you thought the fewest of you thought that referrals would have the highest conversion rate. So that referrals would be the least efficient channel. So I will hand back to Rachel now and she will reveal.
Very interesting. So the reason we're doing this is because we've spotted that Adidas is the most efficient channel, but we now want to uncover what is causing this efficiency. So to do that, we really need to see, what is the most efficient channel. So the response to the poll was that you guys all thought, well, most of you thought that direct was the most efficient channel. So now when I scroll down, we will reveal the results. And interestingly enough, we see that referrals is actually the most efficient channel. So this is why this particular screen is really important, because we need to validate whether we're giving the right recommendations to our clients. We saw that our client office had a great opportunity, a potential great opportunity to optimize referrals. This was a channel they were only getting 1% of their traffic from. They really weren't utilizing it. But when we look at Adidas, which is the most efficient brand, we saw that it's referrals that is the most, that is their most efficient channel. So this sort of validates that referrals could be, a great opportunity for our client. It's really, really efficient. It's low in terms of volume, but it is the most efficient channel relative to the other channels. And so what we could do is we could, uncover the domains that are sending this efficient traffic to Adidas, and we can, see if they could be good partnerships for our clients. So that's what we'll do as a next step. But I also want to point your attention to organic search. It's not the most efficient channel, but it is, other than direct, it is performing the best in terms of volume. So it is still a worthwhile channel to optimize it. It has that advantage because it is driving the most number of visits. But as I mentioned, referrals is going to be a great untapped resource for our client. And as a next step, we now want to see exactly what partnerships are driving this efficient channel that maybe our client office could partner up with. So for this next bit of analysis, we're going to actually dive deeper into these marketing strategies. And to do that, we want to get into website analysis. So to get into website analysis, just type in your client's domain into the search bar. So I'm going to type in office.co.uk. It's now going to take me into website analysis. And of course, we need to compare Office against Adidas and Nike. So I'm going to put in Adidas. I'm going to put in Nike. I also, of course, need to make sure that I've got the right filter. So I'm going to change the worldwide to the UK filter. And now I'm going to go into the referral section. So you'll see here on the left-hand tab that we have, we've got search traffic, referral traffic, display, social. So you can dive deeper into all of these channels and actually discover insights to then pass on to your clients. We're going to focus on referrals and search traffic today, and I'm going to start with referrals. So when I go into incoming traffic, we're going to see all of the domains, all of the partnerships that are driving traffic to these 3 websites. And what I first noticed before I get to the list of domains is this category distribution box. So in this category distribution box, we can see that the industry that's driving the most amount of traffic is the coupons and rebates industry, so the voucher industry. So that's quite interesting because, obviously in today's current climate, people are having to be a lot more sort of price conscious. They might still want to shop, they might still want to buy things, but they want to sort of save money. So the voucher industry could be a very smart way for Office to find partnerships in order to reach that target audience and improve their visibility and sort of their brand. So when we scroll down, we get the full list of domains that are driving traffic to these 3 websites. We see, for example, that Hot UK Deals is the strongest affiliate. It's driving the most traffic. But office.co.uk is receiving the least amount of traffic from this domain. So we see the Office is getting 4%, Adidas is getting 68%, and Nike is getting 28%. So this is an affiliate that is driving traffic to Office's competitors, to these brands, and is an affiliate that perhaps Office should be partnering up with. We also noticed that there are lots of other coupon voucher websites. We noticed that was the industry that was driving the most traffic to these websites. So we see other coupon websites like Quidco. We see Latest Free Stuff, Extreme Bargains, Swag Bucks. So all of these coupon websites seem to be sending, most, if not all of their traffic to Adidas or Nike. So again, this could be a really sort of smart direction for Office to go in. They could partner up with some of these coupon websites in order to increase their visibility and grow their brand online. You know, maybe a lot of people will be visiting these coupon websites a lot more than perhaps they previously would have done in light of today's current economic climate. So this is just a little snapshot as to how you can improve your client's referral strategy. There are many other creative ways that you can do this, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to move on to the keywords. So now I'm going to go into the keywords section under search traffic, and we will see all of the keywords that are driving traffic to Office, Adidas, and Nike. Now, what I first want to do is I first want to remove the names of the domains. So I'm just going to click on this filter that says non-branded. So all I'm doing is just removing any keyword that includes Office, any keyword that includes Adidas, and any keyword that includes Nike, so that we can uncover what products consumers are actually searching for. And now before I hit apply, I also want to add in another filter. So I want to find keywords for my clients that are relevant to their business, that are relevant to the products that they sell, to the products that are on their website. But I also want to find keywords that they are not getting much traffic from. So we have the perfect filter for that use case. I do encourage you to explore these different filters in your own time. They're a great way for you to really easily find the blind spots, the opportunities, the successes across your client's keyword strategy. But for today, I'm just going to focus on keyword losses. And now I'm going to hit apply. Really important that you hit apply in order for the list of keywords to update. And now what I'm seeing are all the keywords that Office is getting between 1 to 20% of the traffic. So these keywords, they are important to Office because Office is getting a decent amount of traffic from them. But Office is nonetheless losing the traffic to their competitors. So this is a great filter for you to find ways to help your clients really easily. So now we have this list of keywords, and something that sort of pops out at me straight away is the keyword in 7th place, which is trainers sale. So we can see that Office is getting traffic from this keyword. They're getting 17% of the traffic, but Adidas is getting 58% and Nike is getting 25%. So this is a keyword that's important to Office's strategy. I'll show you later on that on their homepage they do have sale, and they do have a trainer section to their sale. So it's definitely important to their strategy. But nevertheless, they are losing the traffic from this keyword. So this could be a great sort of recommendation to give to your client to make them aware that their website is not optimized accordingly, and they're missing out on a lot of traffic and therefore potential sales. So now what we want to do is we want to do a bit more analysis, and we want to actually find some more keywords that our client can optimize in order to make sure that the sale content on their site is optimized. So to do that, we just want to click on this keyword, and you'll see that we've got these. If you just hover over the keyword, you'll see we've got these 3 little bars. We're now going to analyze this keyword in search keyword analysis. So this is taking us to another module called search keyword analysis, which is actually my favorite part of the platform, because it allows us to analyze any keyword or group of keywords on the web. It's really interesting. It's a very versatile feature. So just so you know where it sits in the platform, it can be found under research. And now what I'm doing is I'm analyzing the keyword trainers sale, and you can see all the websites that are winning organic or paid search traffic from this keyword. But before I unveil those results, I just want to help our client find some more keyword ideas. If we're going to be recommending that our client hasn't optimized the content on their site accordingly, we need to come up with some recommendations to help them do so. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to click on the keyword generator tool, and this is really my favorite part of this module. And this is going to generate us hundreds of keywords that either include trainer sale or are related to trainer sale. So now we'll see in the phrase match column that we have 175 exact matches. So all the keywords in this list include trainers sale in any particular order. But what I'm actually going to draw your attention to is the related tab. The related tab is a lot more interesting because it gives you a whole list of keywords that people who have searched for trainers sale have also searched for in that same browsing session. So it's going to reveal to you the hidden ways that consumers browse for this particular topic. And you'll see that people who search for trainers sale also search for cheap trainers, discount trainers, best deals discount, trainers good price, best trainers deal, cheap Nike trainers. You know, in the matter of seconds, we've discovered tons and tons of potential, alternatives that people search, and these are all ways for our client to ensure that they have sort of integrated these keywords into their strategy, optimized their website for these keywords to ensure that they are not missing out on any traffic. Obviously, we've been able to prove that these keywords are certainly popular with our consumers. We know that people are searching for discounted shoes. We know that in light of the current economic situation, that people are wanting to sort of be a bit more price conscious, and we're able to help our client ensure that they are prepared for this and that their website is optimized accordingly. So as a next step, we've discovered all of these keyword ideas, but we probably also want to give our client a bit of information as to how competitive these keywords are. So to do that, we actually want to combine these two lists, create a keyword group, and then analyze that keyword group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the top 100 keywords from each tab, and I'm going to bring them together, and I'm going to create a keyword group. Call this trainers sale, click create. And I'm now going to click here, and I'll be able to analyze this keyword group. And now when I scroll down, I'm going to see all the domains in the UK that are winning organic search traffic from these keywords. So we can see, for example, that jdsports.co.uk is winning the most amount of traffic. It's winning 11% of the traffic. And we see that Office, our client, is in 4th place with 7% of the traffic. Now, this is interesting because, as I mentioned, we'd already confirmed that there is definitely a demand for these keywords. People are searching for cheap trainers, that they're searching for sale-related products. But now we've been able to confirm that this is putting a big demand on a lot of retailer and sports brands, because even though JD Sports is getting the most amount of traffic, it's not dominating the competitive landscape. The traffic is distributed across a lot of different domains. We've got Sport Direct getting 9%, Office getting 7%, Nike getting 6%. These keywords are competitive. The landscape is competitive. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. All it means is that our client Office have an opportunity to sort of steal this traffic away from their competitors. But they have to make sure that they've optimized the right keywords to ensure that their website is optimized accordingly. So now that we've helped our client optimize for the sale content on their website in order to acquire more traffic, we want to track the results of this and monitor whether the sale content on their website is actually performing well. So to do that, and where we're going to wrap up today's demo, is in segment analysis. So up until now, you'll notice that we've just been analyzing domains like office.co.uk, nike.com, footasylum.com. But in this feature here called segment analysis, which is my second favorite part of the platform, we can actually drill down into a specific element of a website, a specific line of a business, and analyze how that content is performing in terms of traffic and engagement. So this is the module here. It's called segment analysis. And you'll see that I've made lots of segments before, but what I'm going to show you how to do is how to create a segment from scratch, and then I'm going to show you what you can do with that analysis. So all you need to do is just click on this button that says define a new segment, and it will ask you to put in a domain. So let's start with our client's domain, which is office.co.uk. It's going to ask us to pick a segment type. So we want to sort of analyze how the sale content on their website is performing. So I'm just going to pick category line of business. I'm going to give it a name, which is sales content. I'm going to click continue. Now it's going to ask us to choose our main string. So what you need to remember, this is really important, is whenever you're building your segment, you have to always start actually outside of the pro, and you have to go onto your client or your client's competitor's website. So if I just switch to the next tab, you'll see that I'm on office.co.uk's website. Now I want to move through the website as if I am a real potential customer. I want to move through the consumer journey, and I want to see how the URL string changes. So I'm just going to hover over sale, and you'll see that they have a trainer's sale category. So I'm going to click on that. And now you'll see, I hope that you can see this. If I click on the URL string structure, let me just minimize my browser. You'll see that I have sale in the URL string structure, and I've got the other string, which is trainers. So now I know that I need to put in trainers and I need to put in sale into my string structure. So now that we've confirmed that, we can go back onto the Pro, back into segment analysis, and we can pick our main string. So our main string is going to be trainers. And our second string is going to be sale. And now you'll see that in the preview box, I'm capturing all of the URLs that have sale and have trainers in them. I'm building out my segment, and this is a way for you to really drill down into a specific category, product, brand, line of your client's business, and just analyze that specific category in terms of the traffic and engagement. So you can refine it further depending on the structure of the website, what you're looking for, but I'm going to leave it here. And I'm now going to click save. And now I'm able to actually analyze this segment, which is the sales trainer segment on office.co.uk. And you'll see that we've got a few sort of helpful metrics. We've got the segment share. So what this means is that out of the entirety of office.co.uk, the sales trainer segment has a 3.19% of the traffic. So this particular segment is receiving 3% of the traffic. We'll also notice that it has a bounce rate of 22%. So, around 3/4 of this traffic is staying and engaging on the content. That's really good. So that's a good thing. But we do notice that the volume that's going to this particular segment is actually declining. So all of this is interesting information. It's going to allow you to monitor whether the recommendations you're giving to your clients are having a positive impact on the performance of their website. But in order to really understand, that this particular section's performance, we need to put this in context. And so we need to compare it against other segments. So what you would do if you were doing this yourself is you would then move on to the next process, which is defining a segment on your client's competitor's website. But in preparation for today's demo, I created some segments which you can see below, and I'm actually going to now show you how you can benchmark them side by side. So we now need to click on segments comparison, and I can now give it a name. So I'm just going to call this sales content, and I'm now going to add segments to my comparison. So you can add up to 10, but I'm just going to add a couple. You need to make your segments before you, of course, add them. So I'm going to select the sales segment we made on Office. I'm then going to select the sales segment on JD Sports, Foot Asylum, and Nike. You'll see that you can add up to 10. I'm just going to select these 4. I now click save, and I'm now able to actually benchmark these segments side by side. Of course, always make sure that you have applied the right country filter. And now what I can do is I can let's look at the last 3 months. So it's a bit more focused to the sort of current situation. And I can now understand a few things. One, I can see which sale segment is getting the most amount of traffic. I can see that the sales segment on JD Sports is getting the most amount of traffic, followed by Nike, followed by Foot Asylum, followed by Office. So I see the Office is in 4th place. But I also get the engagement metrics. So I can see the Foot Asylum by far have the lowest bounce rate. So their sale content is the most engaging. People are retaining. And they also have the highest average visit duration and the highest pages per visit. So this is how, once you've made your recommendations to your clients, you can assess whether it's actually led to the content on your client's website performing better or worse. You can also use this beforehand to assess what elements of your website's business, what sections of their website need improving in the first place. So this is a really, really great feature. It allows you to drill down into a very specific line of your client's business. So yeah, please make use of this. And this is a premium feature. So if you don't have access to it, feel free to get in touch with your account manager. But that is where I wanted to end today's demo. We have about 10 minutes left. So I think let's move on to the Q&A section.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rachel. I think that was super insightful, and there was a lot there, but hopefully it's given everyone some food for thought on how they can support their own clients with their strategies. So actually, while you're sharing your screen, Rachel, I will just summarize that we had a few questions come through that were all asking about different industries. So obviously this, what Rachel walked through today was an example, as we said, of one industry. I'd love if you can show, so just a couple of industries mentioned were, can we see insights on real estate, on jewelry, on the travel industry? So I think, if you just want to maybe explain the preset categories and the custom categories.
Yes,
Rachel.
of course. Yes, so you'll see that, whenever you want to analyze an industry, just to remind you, you always want to go into category analysis. And this is where you can find all of the Similarweb predefined industries. So when you click on the all categories drop down, you'll notice that we have about 180, 190 predefined categories. This is how we've sort of mapped out the digital world. So absolutely, we have a real estate industry, we have a travel industry, we've got different subcategories. So within the travel industry, we have accommodation, we have flights, we have museums, things like that. So definitely explore our different categories. Just be aware that our categories are very large. So for example, if I click on the travel and tourism category and then I go to top websites, you'll see that we've got a lot of them, 10,000 domains. You'll also notice that because we're collecting data from so many websites and therefore we have very large categories, that not all of the websites in these categories will be directly comparable. So for example, booking.com will be different to Ryanair. So what you should do is, once you've used our categories as a discovery, always make sure you create your custom category. As I demonstrated right at the beginning, you add in the most relevant websites, the most comparable websites to your client, and you just ensure that you really are comparing sort of like for like. We do also have some helpful filters that can help you sort of filter the list a bit. So we've got this all website types. So again, if you wanted to find potential affiliates in the travel industry, maybe some travel blogs, you could segment to content publishing websites. We've got Lonely Planet, things like that. If you wanted to find websites where people are able to actually book accommodation or book flights, then of course you can filter through to transactional. So I hope that answers your question in a very long-winded way.
Thank you. That was super helpful. So so for those of you that are customers already, obviously you can play around with this. And for those of you that are not and, want to see, what we have available, feel free to get in touch with us after the webinar and we can show you more. So thank you, Rachel. Okay, so another question we had a couple of times actually was because Rachel walked us through the referrals and incoming traffic. So it was just really understanding how do we define that. So referrals on Similarweb basically includes traffic through, it could be through affiliates or different links and content partners. And traffic that's from direct media buying or news coverage. So basically, if traffic has gone through an actual ad network, then we identify it as having gone through an ad network, and it's part of our display section, which we didn't dive into today. And also if referrals are, from social media, so it's part of our social section. So what we showed today was those links coming from affiliates or from direct media buying, for example. That was one question. We also had a question around funnel analysis and how we're able to show conversion data and track conversion data. So we actually do it, every website has its own conversion funnels and URL structures. So it's a semi-manual process from our side, but we're looking at those conversion URL strings. So when you go through, whether it's a retail website or a finance website or whatever, we're looking first of all at the traffic metrics and how many people are arriving, and then how many people are getting through to those thank you pages or whatever that URL is after you've normally made some sort of conversion. So we actually have to identify semi-manually what those converted pages URL strings look like, and that's how we're able to show the type of insights that Rachel shared with us today. So another question was around how we collect our data in general. I'm not going to go into huge detail around this because we're running out of time and we could be here for a long time. There's lots to discuss on that, but I will share, first of all, on our website you should be able to see information. We have slides around our data and how we collect it, but in general, the quick pitch is that we do collect data from hundreds of different diverse data sources. So it's from direct measurement data, so companies actually sharing their Google Analytics with us. It's from anonymous behavioral data, so that's our panel. We have a huge panel of devices, so a huge sample. We also do data partnerships. We're looking at public data, so the type of data available on Google. And so we're collecting data from all of these different sources, and then we're calibrating our, we're basically applying our machine learning models and to create algorithms to basically calibrate our estimations, and that's how we're able to produce the insights, some of which Rachel showed us today. So that's a quick overview. Just going to look if there were any other questions. So yeah, one of the questions was, is the process we showed today, is it mainly relevant for agencies, or can it also be for brands and the clients, the end users? So absolutely, Similarweb has, you know, our customers are made up of many, many brands and agencies. Obviously, agencies are the sort of service providers on behalf of their clients. So this, you know, this can all be accessed, whether you're the end user, the client itself, or whether your agency is building the strategies for you and working on that for you. Thank you for that question. Yeah, so one of the other questions we got was, how can we increase traction to our website through social media at this time? So Rachel, we didn't have a chance to dive into the social section, but Similarweb does provide in similar sort of insights and benchmarks on which social channels are driving traffic to your site versus your competitors. So you can see, you know, maybe one of the competitors is investing more in Facebook and you're investing more in Pinterest or Twitter, and we can show you that breakdown as well. I think that is probably all we have time for. I'll leave everyone with a couple of minutes there. So thank you all for joining. We will be sharing the recording with you all afterwards. If we didn't get to your question in today's webinar, we will follow up with you afterwards. And please do be in touch if you have any questions or follow-ups that you would like to discuss with us. Thank you so much for your time.
Cool. Thank you, everyone. Bye.